I think I have Beth's, I'm sorry, I have someone.
Good morning, Unity. We are so happy to be back with you all. Love's the power. Love's the power. Love's the power. Love's the power. When I look deep inside, I see the God power. When I look deep inside, I see the God power. When I look deep inside, I see the God power. When I look deep inside, I see the God power. I feel God's power rising inside of me. Love's the power expanding in the soul of me. Feel the power. Feel the power. Oh, feel the power. Oh, feel the power. When I take the time, I feel the God power. When I take the time, I feel the God power. When I take the time, I feel the God power. When I take the time, I feel the God power. I feel God's power rising inside of me. Love's the power expanding in the soul of me. Oh, see the power. I see the power. I see the power. I see the power. When I look at you, I see the God power. When I look at you, I see the God power. When I look at you, I see the God power. When I look at you, I see the God power. I feel God's power rising inside of me. Love's the power expanding in the soul of me. I live the power, live the power, live the power, live the power, live the power. As I live my life, I love and got power. As I live my life, I love and got power. As I live my life, I love and got power. As I live my life, I love and got power. I feel God's power rising inside of me. Love's the power expanding in the soul of me. Expanding in the soul of me. Expanding in the soul of me. Thanks.
Thank you, thank you. Loves the power. Welcome. We welcome you this morning to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland. I'm Reverend Lisa Davis. I'm back. It's so good to be here. It's fall, and it's wonderful for us to gather and to recognize. We may have just heard loves the power. But have we been able to allow ourselves to breathe it in and feel it and to recognize that there is one presence and one power? It's vibrational, it's vitalizing us, and have we allowed it to move through our body? So if you haven't been able to breathe in the presence and power, you can call it whatever you want. It's this quantum field. It's a vibration of love. It is the essence of the universe that connects us all. If you haven't yet breathed it in, I just invite you right now to take a breath, to take a deep breath and say, yes, that power and that presence vitalizes me. It vibrates through every cell of my body. It fills me with love and life and presence and power. And the truth of who I am is that vibrating energy. That's who I am. That's who we are. That's how we're all connected, and that's how we move through our day and through this universe. So as we gather this morning, I just invite you to keep breathing it in. Because sometimes we hear these ideas and we think, love's the power. Yep, it's here somewhere, and every so often I can feel it, and if somebody does this, I feel it. What we're working on this morning is how do we take these ideas and breathe them and allow them to live through us? Because the truth is the infinite intelligence of the universe is vibrating in this space, and in this space, and this space, and in your space, and in every space, everywhere. So we're going to begin this service in prayer. And I just invite you, if you haven't yet, allowed a remembering, a cellular remembering to happen, to allow it to happen now. And as we breathe, one presence, one power, infinite spirit, we open. We open to this remembering. I am vibrant life this moment, this day. Love lives as me now. And we allow, both in this space and around the globe, our virtual family, all of us, interconnected spirit, a quantum field. We allow that movement of spirit to encircle all, so that every heart knows I am part of the tapestry of humanity. I have come with a mighty work to do. And this day, that work is love. That work is simply sacred breath. For this opportunity to gather in this knowing, wherever we are spirit. We are blessed. And so it is. Amen. And Beth is going to share with us some of what's happening.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy fall. It came, didn't it? Yes. We've all changed our wardrobes, right? I love it. Well, I'd love to introduce our prayer chaplains for this morning. We have prayer chaplains that are available to pray with you following the service today. Colleen and Kate are here. If you're not ready to pray in person, we have prayer requests that you can find in the backs of your chairs and out on the lobby table. And I remind you of this every week. We have Dial-A-Prayer. If you need a little lift during the week, if you're having a little hurdle, you can call and you can get a blessing. It's changed every day. And we have meditation on Sundays before the service. Our chaplains provide a guided meditation in our chapel at 10:30 a.m., and we invite you to come and join them. The LGBTQ plus group meets today following the service. They also welcome all allies to join in. They will be meeting downstairs in the teen rooms today. We have a rental in the chapel, so they will be meeting downstairs. And so go down for some coffee and connection, and then you can slide on over into the teen room and join their group today. Well, I don't know if you perused the lobby table on your way in this morning, but it's full. We have a lot going on, and it's wonderful. Our fall program begins next week on October the 1st, and we're using the book Living Untethered, Beyond the Human Predicament, which is also available in our bookstore. So at this moment, I want to bring up Annette Boswell. She's our new Spirits group leader, and Spirit groups are our small group book studies, and Annette is here to give you an update on the signups.
I'm giving you the final nudge. If you've had the inkling that you should join one of these spirit groups, please do. We have 8 groups, 3 still have some room. And they're out there in the sign-up, on the sign-up sheets. 1 is in person, 2 are on Zoom. The books are in the bookstore. This is a great way to practice your spirituality, to meet with people with like minds. And also, you know how much it costs? Nothing. This is free. So if you have an inkling to join, please sign up today. This will start next week. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Annette. And yes, it's true, the payoff is big. If you're new to this community, if you're looking for a way to connect and meet people, this is a wonderful way to do it. So sign-up sheets on the table and also in the newsletter. Okay, we've got a couple of classes coming up. Wednesday nights, starting the first week of October, October 4th, is Claim Your Inner Power. This is based on a book by William Warsh, Your 12 Gifts from God. The class begins, as I said, Wednesday, October 4, 6:30 to 8:30. This will be in person and on Zoom. So again, sign-ups on the table and in the newsletter and website. And then a couple weeks down the road on October 23rd, that's a Monday, Prayer, Principle, and Practice begins. And this is Reverend Lisa with Lynn Soden and Carol Keffler, I believe, who are going to be teaching. This was formerly Rock Your Word. This is the prerequisite to becoming a prayer chaplain. But it is a wonderful class about New Thought, Unity Basics, Affirmative Prayer. If you're new to Unity, it's a great class. Mondays beginning the 23rd. Both classes are $85 if paid before the first class, or $15 a class. And you can register online or in the lobby. Okay, Pam Martell is holding her second group past life regression meditation session on Sunday, October 15th from 1 to 3. This is her second one. The first one was very well received and people asked for another one. So we're providing that after the service on the 15th. There's information on the lobby table and in the newsletter, so make sure that you come. We don't have sign-ups for that. It's just to come as you are. Bring a yoga mat or something to sit on, and it's free for a love offering. It's on a love offering basis, so you can come and do that on the 15th. So we are beginning our path to membership. This starts next week with New Thoughts for a New Life, which is a workshop following the service with Reverend Lisa. It's a great place to start if you're new to Unity, or if you're interested in joining our community, this is the time. There's membership applications out on the table this morning. You can also find them online. So we invite you to become a part of all the wonderful things that are happening here in our spiritual community. I want to remind you to reserve your spots for the men's and women's retreats. They'll be here before we know it. I mean, September's gone, right? It was like a blink. I don't even know where September went, right? So October, I have a feeling, is going to be the same way, and then we'll be at the women's retreat, the men's retreat, and then the women's retreat. But they're going to start making some announcements for this in the coming weeks. But you can get ahead of things. We have all the information. We have brochures. We have registrations. So make sure that you look into that. And last but not least, if you scrolled all the way down in your newsletter this week, some of you do, some of you don't. So I'm just letting you know you're missing out if you're not scrolling to the bottom of the newsletter. But on the bottom of the newsletter, we announced that we are having an arts and crafts fair. Yes, very exciting. Oh, I heard the sigh. Did you hear the sigh? Yeah, so this is going to be on November 10th and 11th. It's a Friday, Saturday. Applications are online. We have these wonderful, beautiful flyers created by our beautiful PR person, Valerie Garrett. These are out on the table. There's a QR code. That QR link's going to take you to the registration to be a vendor. Vendor tables are $40, and we have them available right now. We're super excited that this is back. So there'll be lots of shopping opportunities for you for the holiday. I encourage you, take a handful of these. Hand them out to people you know who are crafting. I know some of you pandemic crafters out there have a closet full of stuff, right? Are you ready to let it go? Okay, we got a spot for you. So come on and join in this wonderful, wonderful event. I know you'll be glad that you did. All right. If you're with us for the first time this morning, we're so glad you're here. If you did not receive a welcome packet, or maybe even if you did, raise your hand so we know who you are and can just give you a warm welcome today. On our packet, maybe I know there's some of you out there. There is a neon card on the back that has a QR code. We'd love for you to put your name and address, your email. We'll get you on that newsletter mailing list. There's a rose sticker on the front we'd love for you to peel off. Stick it to your lapel so we know who you are and can give you a warm welcome following the service today. And we invite you down to Coffee and Connection, which is provided today by our Board of Trustees and our prayer chaplains. And I was told that it's a real carb fest. That's what they literally told me that, okay? So don't be calling tomorrow and say, there's no proteins on the breakfast. They know, it's all carbs. And so enjoy yourself downstairs today. We will see you there.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody have so much fun with the announcements. Beth, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And for all of you who are here for your first time, or you haven't been in a long time, or it's your second or third time, we're so happy you're here. What we know is that every one of us is on a spiritual journey. Every one of us is here to learn and to grow and to find, and I believe to find a place to connect and a place that will support us in that journey. Because as I say in the Buddhist tradition, we can get sick alone, but we can only heal together. And we're finding that more and more in this country, in our world, and we're being called to open up to larger parts of who we are and how we can integrate into that. So if the words and the ideas support you, I invite you to become a part. One of the things I've been holding a space for is an Earth Care team. And it takes somebody saying, that's important to me, that's what we're doing. We've gotten a very strong LGBTQ plus group that's saying, here we are, we're expanding, we're finding out who we are so that they can support just this part, and then we have this part, and we have this part, and then we have all of us in all these different teams, and I invite you to be a part. If this community does not work for you, I would encourage you to continue seeking. Find a place that will. What I know is that it's really easy to hop around. It's where we do our work is where we say, I'm here, and I'm going to grow and learn. So it's wonderful to have you with us. We are going to take a moment and sing. We get to hold that space. By the way, Karen Drucker is who's leading our women's retreat. If you have not had the wonderful opportunity of just being a part of her life, she's doing much of the music that we have here, and she will be leading our women's retreat.
And you're going to be hearing lots of her music today and in the coming weeks. And I just love her so much. So we're going to review the notes of this real quick, because I think it's been a minute since we've sung this together. Or if you've never sung it, here it is. So I'm going to sing a little phrase, and if you'll repeat after me. So, God is my source. God is my source. Here's the next part. God is my power. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. And then the last part of it are all of those notes again. So I give thanks, and we repeat it over and over, okay? And we're going to sing about God, love, and joy, and you can take this into your life and substitute like any word. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Yes, love is my power. Love gives me everything. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything let's feel the joy. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything back to God. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything last time. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Everything I need. God gives me everything last time. God gives me everything I need.
All right, and I just invite you to turn to those around you with a handshake, with a namaste, and just welcome them. Oh, yes. It's so wonderful to have all of you here. You know, as we continue realizing that this quantum field that we breathe and we live in, and you know, different beings, wisdom teachers have called it different things, but as we learn to get quiet and still and allow ourselves to simply breathe, when Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you, there's a silence. And in that silence, the energy of the universe flows through us. And we have the ability to breathe that in. And so I often say Jesus may have been the first quantum physicist hanging around, beginning to see that. Now, Buddha also said, there's a Buddha within you. And so it's breathing in these ideas. And so in just a moment, Susie Ellen will share a short time of meditation that we'll move through together, remembering we can do this every day in our homes.
Let's take a moment now to quietly and gently close our eyes if that's comfortable, to open to the heart space within us, to let go of everything that has happened today, just for now. Just let it go. And all the things that to come, just let that go. And just be here right now in the presence of that infinite spirit that lives and moves and has its being in every one of us. It's in every one of us to feel that power, that grace, that love, that joy of spirit that we belong to and belongs to us, and is so much more. So I invite you now to just gently and easily and sweetly move into that space and allow the mind to quiet and the heart to open as we meditate together. And as we close this meditation together, allow this love that we feel, this openness that we have created in this short time of quiet, to move with us today, to move with us into the world, to be that love, to shine that light, to be that presence and that power that we know that we are. So I invite you to take this time of meditation with you. Hold it in your heart and let the love flow, for it is right here and right now. It's in each one of us to know, to be, and to share that loving embrace that we feel as Spirit guides each one of us on our path this week. Namaste, and so it is.
The power of now is always present, nothing to be. And where you are, the power of now flows oh so gracefully. The power of now is always perfect, nothing to be. Then who you are flows oh so easily. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now is ever flowing, connecting us all to the one. The power of now unfolds so peacefully. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now.
Thank you, thank you. Wow. That's Faith Rivera, the power of now. The power, so often we think this moment, what is it? I got to get through this one to get to the next one. Or anybody have any lists to do? Anybody have any to-dos on their afternoon? Or maybe their morning? Or maybe we haven't even opened that yet. We've just tried to get through these pieces. Life is calling us both to learn and to grow and to expand and to be present at the same time. And it's a fascinating journey. Last week, we got to hear our high schoolers give the service, and it was a fabulous experience. If you were not able to hear it, I would invite you to go back and listen to it on YouTube. I have heard that we're not on Facebook right now. The link is there because Facebook plan right now it is not only throwing us off, but we're losing our memory. We're losing our different services and things when it does. So we have decided to simply work with YouTube right now and to go forward with that. So just so you know, that's what we're doing if you're wondering why. But so much is happening in our world, and we're getting to say, how do I move through this, hopefully with some grace? And I think our teens taught us a lot. Now, when I was growing up, and I, of course, attended the youth services. And our goal with every youth who walks into this building is that they are filled with the idea that they have power within them, the presence of God. And sometimes when we sing God, we go out there because it's some guy up in the sky. For us, it is the energy of love. That presence is not only within them, but they have powers within them. And so we use a system called 12 Powers. And many of you say, well, what is that? And I grew up hearing that I have faith, I have strength, I have understanding, I have zeal, I have enthusiasm, and I have power, pure power. And so some of our teens that you were able to hear have heard that since they were 4 months old, and some of them had only heard it a year. But the question then they get asked is, how do you apply it? So when I moved from being a kid in the Sunday school into attending church, I was like, I really don't want to be here. What do I have to do? I have to listen there? I want to talk to kids and hear what we were all doing. And I remember my mother saying, this is how you do it. You sit and you listen to a principle. You find one principle, and then you figure out how you apply it in your life. Now, I'm sure most of you don't have anybody in your world saying that's how you sit and listen, but that was part of my upbringing, having a Unity minister as a mom. And so at the end of that, she would ask us various times, especially for me, because I moved back home. She'd say, so what did you hear? And how are you going to apply it? And I'm sure my answers were not real positive at that point. But what I loved was I heard our kids say, this is the idea, and this is how I apply it. One of them talked about, and it was so powerful, during the pandemic, it was really lonely, and I realized I was dealing with depression. And I know that one of the powers I have in me is zeal. And so I use that power of zeal, which is a movement of energy, and it's an enthusiasm that allows me to shift where I am. And it's located in the back of the head. And so you start focusing on the things in your life with zeal and enthusiasm. And you allow that to vibrate, and you see a different world. Now that's a power within. And then they noticed how life began to change because they began to see it differently. One of the old songs that we used to sing all the time is, I am the thinker who thinks the thought, I have the power to change my mind. I am the thinker who thinks the thought, I have the power to change my mind. But sometimes we get out in our world, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So how do we take the individual ideas and actually apply them? It's wonderful to hear them and to immerse ourselves in them, and I can do it on Sunday mornings. And it's a powerful experience. But eventually it gets to the point of, what am I doing Sunday afternoons or Mondays or Tuesdays or any other day when I don't know what's happening? Charles Fillmore, one of the co-founders of Unity, said, life is an ever-progressive, ever-evolving, ever-expanding, upward spiral of conscious evolution. Life is an ever-progressive. That means the knowledge that we have, it's progressing. And if we don't stay up with it, all of a sudden all the stuff comes up. Have you noticed? I think for a long time in my world, I lived in what's called white privilege. I lived in a world that I didn't see what was happening to others. And suddenly it's like, whoa, wait a minute. This world is continuing to move. And I get to find out how I relate to it, ever evolving. The infinite intelligence of the universe, and science shows this. Quantum physics shows this. It is continuing to move. And so, even the word that Jesus used as heaven, the root word of that is expansion. What if there is this essence of expansion, and we have the ability to step into it? So ever-progressive, ever-evolving, ever-expanding, upward spiral of conscious evolution. Now, sometimes when we look at our individual lives, we think, yeah, but this is stuck. This got stuck right here. And that's in the next 8 weeks. Next week, we start with Living Untethered. And so there'll be spirit groups during the week, but I'll be talking about this for 8 weeks here. And so I'd invite you to get the book. I'd invite you to be a part of it. I'd invite you to look at it, because every fall we go deeper into something, where it's not just someone saying it, but it's how do we do this? And we're going to break down into really small pieces what happens when we get stuck. Because most of us were not told you are a creation of the infinite. We weren't raised with those ideas. In school, we weren't told you're filled with power. You have the ability to do this. David Hawkins, in his Power versus Force, power is spirit. It is the ever-progressive, ever-expanding, ever-evolving consciousness of the universe. That's what it is. Force is when we try to push. Power will always win. Some of those are really long arcs. On this universe, there's some really long arcs. But all those other pieces will fall away, and we're a part of it. So we got to go back to our lives, and we got to go back to, so how does this work for me? How do I begin applying this? Charles Fillmore also said, and this had to have been in the 20s or 30s, energy is the divine substance that underlies everything. It's energy. And we have a choice of how we use that energy. But man, sometimes it's hard to get back to that place of remembering. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my mind. I may have grown up hearing something about myself. And I have the ability to say no. Now, it's a journey. It is a process, and it's a long-term process. And there are times in our lives when we grieve and we've lost people we love. And the grieving process is important. And we also get to say, have I pitched a tent in this thought? And is this the ever-progressive, ever-expanding, ever-evolving thought I want to base my life on? Or is there a larger one? And can I take that which I grieve and that which maybe I felt like has bound me? Old thoughts. You're not enough. You're not this. You're not included. You're not a part. That's breaking apart and falling away. Can I take those and say, I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my mind. And begin to access and allow the power. And power is one of our 12, what I call gifts from God, the class that I'm starting, and what these kids talked about were the 12 powers. This is actually what we use every week with our kids. Not this book, but this idea in some form comes out because we want to talk about qualities and principles and ideas. But at some point, where is it in you? Where is the power? And power is one of those. And I just want to share with you, because when we look at that, then we begin saying, wait a minute. Let's figure out what this is. Now, power is our ability to change and build consciousness. And sometimes I got to look at what's happening in my life and say, I have power over this. This may feel like I'm drowning in it. And it may be a long-term thing where the power that I choose, I get to look at a little differently. Because the power that I get to call forth is both within me. And it might be the power to say, I trust this process. The universe supports me. And there's a larger picture than I'm seeing. What is that? And how do I use that? And how do I allow it to do that? Power is my ability to choose my thoughts and feelings. Now you might think, wait a minute, I'm in this old loop. And this old loop is I've gotten stuck in it. I just say congratulations. You're right where life is saying, guess what? We're ready for a new idea. We're ready for a larger picture. But we have to find a way to do that. And you might say, I don't want this one. You know, they don't have this. My friends don't have this. Look at that. Look at this person over there. They do not have this. They have never had to deal with this. How does that go? What does that what happens there? What do? We get to open to something and say, oh, I'm a part of that shift. I'm a part of what I get to do. One of the hilarious things, and it's a fun one, but they were interviewing a gentleman who he actually ended up setting a world record. He's 93. I believe his name is John Klaus or Klaus. He decided that he didn't like aging. It wasn't much fun. And so he said, I was a swimmer 70 years ago, and somebody convinced me to get back in the water. And he did. And then he thought, well, I need to be able to show other people. So he got some other friends. He actually had to hunt them down. And he decided he was going to set a world record in the 90-plus category. And he said, do you know how many few participants there are in the 90-plus category in the world? And so he even went as far as somehow he had a friend who went to Duke, and he said, who did you swim with? And the guy found out who they were, and he called up a guy and convinced him to get in the water. And so for 3 years, and this happened over a 4-year time, for 3 years, they began figuring out, could they make a lap? Could they do the thing? Could they, and they did it at the Rowdy Gaines meet, which for those of you who have ever listened to any Olympic swimming, Rowdy's the one screaming and telling you what's happening and getting so excited over everything. They did it at the meet he sponsors every year. And they didn't know how long it would take them. It took them 20 minutes. You should have heard the guy, he went on there before, he goes, yeah, but do you have any physical problems? And one of the gentlemen, it was not the one that they had been interviewing, he goes, are you kidding me? There's nothing left to operate on in my body. I have a new shoulder, a new knee, a new hip. He said, I just got it. He just went on and on. He goes, that's not the point. We had to find a way to make life something interesting. And I looked at that, and they made a world record. And then there are 2 other groups trying to break it. So far, they haven't been able to, because they haven't been able to get all 4 of them healthy and in the water at the same time, at the same meet where they could do it. But they aren't stopping. So sometimes we have to take what is happening in our world, and I'm not asking any of us to be world record swimmers, although, believe me, one of the guys said, all you got to do is get in the water and be able to move and hope you get to the other end. But it was wonderful, because that's life. He said, I wanted to be sure I was living life. And I thought, wow. What does it take? And you might say, yeah, but my life has this in it, and has this in it, and has this in it. That's where the universe is saying, how do you take the power in you, claim it? And by the way, power is found in stillness. The power within us, and I was always taught, power is at the base of our throat. And power is an energy within you that when I get quiet and I get centered, then I get to say, I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my mind. Yesterday morning, I was so sure that I was not going to get done everything on my list. And I just looked at it and I thought, I could feel totally overwhelmed, and I was really close to it. And my heart was beating fast, and I looked at all the things. I thought, there is no physical way I can get ready to have people over at my house, to have this happen, and this happen, and this happen, and to hopefully have a message that has something in it that has principles and practices and ideas, because that's what we're doing. Even though I had written it quite a while ago, it was like, how do I do this? What's possible? And I realized that whether it got done or not, I had a choice to decide if my day was going to be so overwhelmed, and there was a good chance that I could have done that I just went from thing to thing to thing, flinging everything, or if I was going to say, I have the power within me to do all that is mine to do today, and I have the faith in me that whatever really needs to get done is going to get done. And miraculously, that happened. I don't exactly know how. I am very grateful for a 22-year-old who did decide that there were parts of it that were hers, and that was wonderful. But the main thing was who I was very different. And when it came time to it, I had the great honor of going and watching my 24-year-old start Special Olympics in soccer. Because I had enough done and enough things that were done and I was centered, I said, I'm just going to sit here and just luxuriate for 2 hours in the midst of kids who couldn't believe they could kick that ball and get it into the goal. And one of them, every time anybody did anything, he thought he had to chest bump them. And he screamed at the top of his voice and went over, yes, yes. And it was a fascinating experience to think, I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my mind. And when life does what it does and doesn't do what it's not going to do, it doesn't mean that we have to take it on. We are not our thoughts. We're not our feelings. When people tell us, you're not this and you don't belong. And our kids, our teens, that happens all the time in middle school and high school. And for a lot of us, we just carried it on through life. But part of finding our power is recognizing I'm a divine creation of spirit. I'm loved by this universe. This universe that is ever progressive is progressing through me, through you. And it just knocks at the door. And by the way, ever expanding also means, and they've shown it, it's speeding up. Anybody have life speeding up? I don't know what that means, but I know for me, it means I get to breathe a little more. I get to get calm a little more. I get to get really clear that I get to decide what I tell myself in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. And if things are a mess, well, maybe they just need to be a mess right then. And then I get to say, what's my part? So we all get to look at the places in our lives and find out there's a way. There's a way to create something larger. You know, power is your ability to change your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. It's the ability to heal, to change our environment and draw our good to us. When we begin saying, I am power, and you may think, oh, am I allowed to do that? How many of us were raised hearing you are a powerful creation? I know there's a few. There are a few. What a difference that made. And yet, what would happen if we began today? I'm a powerful creation of the infinite, of spirit, of God, of whatever you want to call it. I am. And I have come with a mighty work to do. Now, William Warch said, of course, God is spirit, but we often forget that each human is also spirit. I am spirit. I am the power in me. And when this idea of being one with spirit moves through us and begins to source us, then when we take a test or we go out for whatever it is, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. First of all, as power and as spirit, we recognize we're connected to everything else. Quantum physics shows that. We're never not connected. You have never not been connected as a creation of spirit, as a being of power. And this is not force, this is power. And as that, then we are a part of this evolution of humanity. And so the things we get to ask ourselves is, what is mine to do? The woman, she's 21. Her name is Jessica Kwak, Kwak, I believe. She was doing a street fair in July and selling her books. And on the way home, she was the victim of gun violence in Portland. And it broke her windshield. It went in, and it actually lodged in her eye. She lost the vision. They still don't know why it didn't go into her brain, but it did not. And so she lost the vision in one eye. And what she's done since then, as she's healed, and as she's started to find out who am I within this? How do I show up? And how do I grieve what I need to grieve? And she said, and then I decided I needed to be a stand for something. So she had to find who she was and the power she had within that. And so she is right now showing up around Portland and around Oregon with the gun control measures, with the 114. And that measure saying, wait a minute, we do need this, we do need that, we do need this, and this is why. Because somebody got a gun that wasn't supposed to even have anything. They had no ID. They had none of the things that they needed. And so her decision to take what comes into her life and to say there's something more, that's pure courage. And it's a belief that there's a power in us that allows us to address what's happening in our world. So my question to every one of us is, what are we being asked to address? Is it something small? Is it a larger view of who we are and how we live our lives? Or is it simply just a knowing that I am power? And in this day, I choose how I move through. You know, Helen Keller said, although the world is full of suffering, it is full of overcoming also. And the overcoming is evolution. But we have to, in fact, a lot of what the Living Untethered, it says, it talks about resistance. Now, I know none of us have resisted the things in our lives and the things in the country. But that's what it starts with. Young Pueblo, the author, says, what is the key to saving the world? And she answered, you are the key. Heal yourself, know yourself, make yourself whole and free. Release all limits so that your love can flow unconditionally for yourself and for the world. This will open the heaven of your heart completely, and it will guide you without fail. You are the answer. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my mind, to change my world. I am the answer. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. It is a joy to be here with all of us. We also get to move through our time of gratitude. In the backs of your seats, there's a blue card that shares some of the ways that you can give here at Unity Spiritual Center of Portland. We are grateful for all you give. We are grateful to be in this space. We are coming up on, I believe it's 98 years as a community, 99. I'm going to have to, Alan, somebody's going to have to tell me what it is. It's somewhere between 98 and 99. And that ability as a community to say these ideas are important enough. They're not the only ones. It's not the only way. It's not the only thing. It is simply, these are ideas of power that change our lives. And the ability to gather in that and then to turn and say, you are a creation of spirit. You have that is, I believe, the greatest gift that Unity can give the world. So I invite you to take your ideas of your offerings. Many of you do it online. Mine are done automatically, so I don't have to worry about writing checks. It's amazing what a change that is, but it's a wonderful opportunity. But I invite you to be a part of this community and that movement of money, of actually saying, I have enough to be a part of that flow. And then to know that as we do, we're transformed. Our affirmation that we say, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we say, thank you, Infinite Spirit. And so it is. Amen.
I was a little girl who never spoke her mind. I wouldn't rock the boat, I couldn't cross the line. But every step that I've taken, every pain, every tear has led me to the woman who's standing right here. I got so tired of giving myself away, always looking for someone to tell me I was okay. But I got to the place where I could trust my heart. It was a perfect place for a brand new start. And here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand. Here I stand. And here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand in my power. Here I stand, here I stand. I am a warrior, I am invincible. I am strong as steel, and I am capable. I am soft as a feather, light and free. And the truth that I know, healing begins with me. My power.
Was that Karen Drucker also?
That is a Karen
That was also
Drucker.
Karen Drucker. She is a powerful being. All right. And speaking of powerful beings, we're just getting ready to sing our youth in. And the reason that I ask all of us to create an energy field of love into which they walk is that we have the power to allow our energy to encircle others and to create that energy field so that they also know who they are. So we invite you to sing them in with that power and that energy surrounding them.
You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you. You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you.
Yay. Somebody's up.
What do we say? My name is Meadow. And today, our lesson was about where God is. And God is all good. And when you can go downstairs.
The pictures are downstairs as we look at where God is. Thank you, Meadow. I appreciate that. Yes. Yes, all right. And we are going to get to stand and to recognize that we are a part of creating peace on this planet by finding that power in us and in others and sharing that.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
If there's any memory I'd love to have for a lifetime, it's hands together saying, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let's join together in our unity prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, God. Have a love-filled week. We're going to sing our youth out so that they can go back downstairs.
I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all right, rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise, and I shine in the light, yeah, shine in the light, oh, shine.